Hey, welcome back. So, I've been thinking about masking for a while now, not in a neat, organized way, but more like something I keep noticing in the background. And the more I notice it, the more I realize how long I've been wearing it, how many I've been wearing, without knowing that's what I'm doing. Um, for a long time, I didn't think of masking as pretending. It didn't feel like being fake. It just felt like being careful. Careful with my tone, careful with my reactions, careful with how much of myself I showed to anyone at any time. And I didn't call it masking. I was just being polite or self aware or emotionally intelligent. And I thought I was doing what everyone else was doing. I copied social cues. I tried to match the energy in the room as best I could, forced eye contact, and rehearsed what I wanted to say a lot before speaking. I minimized my needs so I wouldn't be too much. It didn't feel dramatic, it just felt necessary. And now this isn't something I necessarily, well, it's not something I just decided to do. I just was doing it, I guess, because I felt different and I didn't understand why. I feel things intensely. I get overloaded really quickly. And sometimes I miss things that others pick up easily. And I definitely pick up things that other people miss, or seemingly. Um, yeah. And I found interactions draining in ways I can't explain. So I just adjusted the way you do when you're just trying to like fit in. I learned to hide confusion. Um, I learned to stay engaged, and I learned to push through sensory overwhelm and then dealing with the fallout later. And because I've done it for so long, it stopped feeling like something I was doing, and it just became who I am, who I was. And uh, I guess after my aha moment, I started to really notice how tired I felt after social interactions, even really good ones. I started noticing how conflicts actually made my body felt and noticing how much recovery time I needed after having intense emotions. So, after that point, um, I was asking, what if, or who is the version of me that people see compared to the version of me that's whole? Um, I know I definitely don't feel like me all the time. In some situations, I have to be, or I feel like I have to be not me. And masking doesn't feel like lying. It feels more like survival, but it also creates distance between what you're experiencing internally and how you're showing up on the outside. And when that distance grows and you feel disconnected, or when the distance grows, you start to feel disconnected from your own reactions, your own needs, and your own life. Um, Masking doesn't come from nowhere. It forms because it helps. It protects you from misunderstanding, it protects you from criticism, from being seen as too intense, too quiet, too sensitive. It teaches you how to move through the world without drawing attention to the parts of you that don't quite fit. And the hard thing to hold is that masking works. It gets you through situations that you don't have the tools for. So when you start to recognize it, there's grief, but there's also gratitude because that armor kept you going when there's no other way. You don't know any other way. Now, masking isn't just emotional, it lives in the body, in the tension you don't notice anymore, in your shallow breathing, in the constant background monitoring of how you're coming across. I feel like even now, I'm probably masking a little bit. Yes, I know I am. Trying really hard not to. But every interaction becomes work, something to manage, something to get through. And for a long time, I thought that exhaustion meant that I'm weak, dramatic, or just like super antisocial. And I didn't realize how much energy I actually put into keeping myself together when I go outside of my own space. Um, I'm still learning how to soften my mask. It's definitely not happening all at one time. There's no dramatic reveal, and everything is very subtle. Um, just small moments with my friends or strangers, even myself in certain situations. So, letting myself pause, allowing my face to rest, not forcing eye contact with people, leaving earlier than normal, or um, just not following quote unquote social norms, uh, coming and going places and greeting people definitely feels awkward. It feels exposing. Um, I also feel um, maybe alienated in certain ways, but a lot of that I think comes from, at least the alienation part, from other people not understanding or knowing. Um, anyways, learning how to take all this down definitely feels awkward. It's exposing, but I also find it relieving because I can finally feel myself in my own presence. Um, Unmasking doesn't mean saying everything I think, it just means stopping the constant trying to control how everybody else sees me and just learning how to just be. And if somebody else likes or doesn't like or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not for everybody, and everybody is not for me. And as I understand myself more, the judgment is softening. I stop telling myself I'm too sensitive, and I start noticing when I get overwhelmed. I'm learning to recognize the time I need to process things like conflict. Um, Things aren't necessarily any easier for me now, but being more gentle and more kind with myself um, definitely has helped me to start letting myself be a little more unarmored when I'm around others, or again, even by myself, just a bit. So I don't think masking is something you can just eliminate. For me, it feels more like awareness, noticing when I'm doing it, noticing what it's costing me, and choosing when I can to soften a little bit. So, if you're starting to notice your own armor, you don't need to take it off all at once. Just notice where it feels the most heavy is already a shift. Underneath it isn't someone broken or defective, it's just you. And sometimes letting yourself be seen is where the healing starts.